All right. Trying to get this situated over there. Good morning. Good morning. I wanted to share this morning. Share, teach, whatever you want to call it. Okay. Impostor syndrome. Impostor syndrome has been showing up for me all week. I just had to share this because anything that just keeps repeating, anything that I'm seeing repetitive, I'll have to share. So for me, I call this confessions of an imposter, right? So what is imposter syndrome? It's the feeling of having trouble recognizing one's own skills, individual doubting. So imposter syndrome basically is individual doubting, okay? That's me. That's where I was at. That's where I tend to go to at times. So, my question, am I the only person that feels like this? First of all, do you ever feel anxious at work or in your business because you feel like a fraud, that any day now your boss or somebody else is going to figure out that you really don't know what you're talking about? Okay. Have you ever feel like that? Okay. So this is where I was this week. And here are some signs. All right. I'm not a psychiatrist, but I am a student counselor. So I'm in school for that. Okay. Thank you. I'm not the only one. Okay. Here are some signs. You believe that anyone can do what you do. You discredit or minimize your own achievements. You have perfectionist tendencies. Studies show this affects women more than men. Okay. There we have that. Okay. And so I'm going to go into my story. I actually have two stories of this that happened this week. Okay. So my first story, work. I'm in a new position. Okay. And so we have these meetings, like team meetings. And my boss is like telling me how great of a job I'm doing. And I'm looking at her like, I feel like she's lying to me. I'm like, it doesn't feel like I'm doing this amazing job. It doesn't feel like that. I'm learning a whole bunch of stuff at one time. And it's like, I don't know, sometimes I don't even know if I'm doing it right. I'm always asking questions because I get stuck and I don't want to just sit there and not do nothing. So I reach out and I ask for help. And they help me. They really do. So during our one-on-ones, she said, "You're doing great." And I said, "Can I be honest with you? I don't feel like that." And she said, "You are. Why don't you feel like that?" I said, "Because a lot of times I'm always asking this person, asking that person. And I just feel like I'm not productive. Like I'm going to work every day, but I don't feel productive because I don't have a grasp on everything that I'm doing." And she was like, "You're doing fine. Do you know that there are two more people in our team that are new? They're in a new position. I ain't gonna say they're new, but they're in a new position." I was like, "Really?" So that took all of the air out of my balloon, because I was like, "Oh, I don't feel like I'm, I don't feel like such a failure." Right? Because sometimes we do that. We tend to do that. We beat ourselves up about things that we should be doing. I should be doing it this way. I should have this by now. I want it to be perfect, right? We want things, I don't know about y'all, but I want things to be done right. I want things to be done the right way the first time. That's story number one. Story number two. I was contacted about doing an interview. So Monday, we had e-school. I didn't go to class. I said, I'll catch the replay because, a lot of times you can't, attend the class. They'll record it and you'll get the replay the next day. So I'm like sitting here, like trying to clear my head. All right. Because I got this conversation I'm about to have with this person about being on their platform. So as she's talking to me and asking me these, things about myself and, and wanting me to be on this thing, do this interview, I immediately start going into, well, I don't have this and I don't have that and I shouldn't do this and I shouldn't do that. I went into making excuses about why I shouldn't do it. Like I said it out loud and I went internal. I really went internal with it. And I started overthinking everything. I started doubting myself. I started saying, well, I don't have this and I don't have that. And I don't want it to be too big. I don't want too many people to come to me at one time. I'm not ready for that. I went into the excuses. We will do that. We will go into that self-abuse room. Let's raise our hand. Who do that? Who does that? I go into that self-abuse room. Well, you don't have this. You don't have that. And you shouldn't do this. And you're not ready. You're not ready for that. Like, you should tell them no. Tell her no, that you don't want to do it. You do it another time, because now is not a good time. And I went there, right? So just so happened, Monday was my coaching session, right? So me and the coach was talking, and she was asking me about, some things I was feeling. So I started telling her about this feeling I was having about being on this show. And I started telling her these same excuses. I'll see you raise your hand too. Thank you. So I started telling her my sexy excuses. Well, that, I don't have this and I don't have that, and I shouldn't do that. And I'm not ready for that. And she's like, oh, I just love your clarity. I was able to fool her. Can I be honest? I was able to fool her with that, because I went into all those excuses, and I give some really good excuses. We tend to give the best excuses about how we can't do something and how we don't have what we think we don't have, and we actually have it. Everything you need, you have. But when you're presented this thing, it's like, oh, the brain does what it does. It wants to keep you safe. No, Jennifer, we're not doing that. Tell her no, we don't have time for that. We can't do that, because you know this, about that. What about this and what about that? And then you start agreeing. Well, you know what? You're right. I'm going to tell her I'm not going to do it. So I'm sitting there playing this over and over and over in my head. That's what we do. We play it just like a record. So then Tuesday, I listened to the replay of class. Do you know this? It was a young lady on there, had the very exact experience, and her outcome was amazing. And I'm not comparing myself to her, but what I'm saying is, I'm sitting here in this cycle of of destruction, dysfunction, about why I shouldn't do this, and I'm looking at her, celebrate her doing this thing that she was scared of doing, and the amazing outcome it had. And that to me was like, you know what? I'm gonna do it scared. I'm gonna do it whether I'm prepared or not prepared, whether I think I'm prepared or not prepared. Because really and truly, I am prepared. I've done this before. So if you find yourself in this situation, look back on your evidence. You've done this before, Jennifer. You've done this before, sis. You've done this before, bro. And it went fine. And even if you have not done it before, this is an experience I'm going to have. Either it's going to be good or it's going to be bad. Either way, I'm going to learn from it, and I'm going to keep moving forward, right? Get out of the self-abuse room. Impostor syndrome is real, and it comes up. And I'm like, whoo, right? So I got all these books. I'm reading all these different kind of books, and I read to feed. I don't necessarily read to finish. I read to feed. So a book that I got was, I recently got this, and I haven't even got started with it yet. I was just kind of like skimming through it. So this is The Relief of Imperfection for women who try too hard to make it just right. It has to be perfect. It has to be right. It doesn't. So I find myself, whenever I have these experiences, I want to share with other people to let you know, number one, you're not alone. Number two, you can help yourself. Like, if you can't afford a coach or afford a therapist, like, get the books, do the research. Okay, get the books, do the research to help you get out of that rut, right? Because I know that imposter syndrome, and thank you, welcome for the first time. So what I do here, I share my real life stories, what I have experienced and what I am experiencing currently. So right now I'm experiencing imposter syndrome. I'm in a new job, feel like I ain't doing what they say I'm doing. They say I'm doing amazing, but I don't feel like I'm doing amazing, right? Because it's all brand new and I'm doing my best, right? They're celebrating me. They're congratulating me, and I don't feel worthy of it because imposter syndrome. So imposter syndrome. Okay, let me just break down a little short definition of it. Describing a feeling having trouble recognizing one's own skill, right? Individual doubting. It's individual doubting. I tend to doubt myself when it comes to doing something that's brand new. I tend to doubt myself, like, oh no, I don't know about that. I don't know if I can do that, right? So that's where I'm at right now. And I'm processing this. I'm still processing it, and I wanted to share my experience. All right. So I highlighted this in this book, and it says coexisting with imperfection. Perfectionism is the belief that it is possible for everything to be exactly as we think it should, and that this would make us totally blissfully happy. Right. I was like, okay, that's interesting. So this book here, I'm going to just skim through it, and just because it's really big. I like audible books, but, I prefer audible books. But this one here, do you prefer teamwork or work? Well, I prefer teamwork, but the job that I'm doing now, I work from home, so it's really just me. It's me and me, right? But when it comes to training, we do like the Microsoft team thing where we're on the video, we just, we're sharing our screens, and, they're showing me different things. So it's a whole new environment, and it's really triggering, right? That's what it is. It's triggering this imposter syndrome. Like, oh, what about this? This is brand new. It's something brand new. So it's like I tend to go into doubt. Can I do this? Like, am I built for this? So that's where I'm at with that. But I am slowly processing and unlearning things and just doing it. I don't mind I do not mind making a mistake. I don't. I try stuff. Oh, you shouldn't have did that. Okay, then. Well, I know next time that's not something I should do, right? But I don't beat myself up about it. It's more like a job requirement than imposter syndrome to me. Yeah, well, for me, it's not just that. It's not just that experience. It's I was presented with a opportunity to be on this show, and I'm sitting here like, I don't know if I'm ready for that. I don't have this and I don't have that, and I've done this before. So that's why, to me, it's imposter syndrome. And it could be both. It's just I'm processing. I'm still processing all of this. So I'm like, what is going on with me? And then, y'all, there's another book that my coach wrote, and I'm going to share the five common problematic behavior patterns for women. Okay, so these are low self-esteem patterns that develop in women. Some women, not all women. Okay. So we have constant sacrificing. That's number one. Some women don't even dare to have a dream, and therefore they struggle to find joy as they manage their to-do list and take care of everyone but themselves. Okay, that's constant sacrificing. Taking care of everybody but you. Is that you? Sometimes it's me. Constant sabotaging. That's number two. Some women dare to go after their dreams, but constantly sabotage themselves because underneath the effort, they don't believe they deserve to succeed. That is constant sabotaging. That's number two. Number three, constant settling. Some women achieve many of their goals only to see them slip away because they don't feel worthy of sustaining success. That's number three, constant settling. Number four, constant self-smothering. Some women have the ability to achieve all of their goals and dreams, but they choose to dim their lights or hide their accomplishments because they believe their success and happiness will threaten friends, family members, or other women. That's constant self-smothering, and that's something I had to unlearn. Growing up, I didn't see people celebrate themselves. Like, I want to celebrate myself. I'm constantly doing that now. And I absolutely love it. You deserve to be celebrated, right? You deserve to be celebrated, whether somebody else clap for you or not. And it's not making anybody look bad. We deserve to celebrate ourselves because what gets celebrated gets repeated. So I love celebrating myself. I love celebrating other people. So that's number four. So number five, constant suffering. Some women actually become addicted to the pursuit of perfection, accomplishing all of their all of their all or most of their education, athletic, career, and personal goals, maintaining a high level of tangible success and flawless appearance, right? A lot of times we see these social media posts of these perfect lives and these perfect bodies and these perfect careers, and it's just their highlight reel, right? Then we go into, well, I want to be like them and I wish I had what they had. We don't even know what's going on behind the scenes because all you're seeing is a picture or a post, and it's just a picture. It's just a post. It does not mean that their life is perfect, that they have it all together, right? So I wanted to share the 5 common problematic behavior patterns for women. Because if you grew up like me, my father, I didn't meet him till I was 14 and he was in prison. So a lot of stuff I was not given as a child. And I'm learning to give myself this stuff now, right? Reparenting myself. So I'm constantly learning, taking courses, taking classes, reading books so I can unlearn this stuff, right? So this book my coach has is called Daddy, Are You Proud of Me? And it's what daughters need to hear and see. What daughters need to hear and see and know from their dads. So this book also helps me, right? And then I am in this book. Our book club is in this book right here, and it's called Good Boundaries and Goodbyes: Loving Others Without Losing the Best of who you are, right? Good boundaries and goodbyes. Okay. So this book helps me create boundaries, because a lot of times people want to cut people off, and I'm return the energy and all these things I hear people say, when all you got to do is set a boundary, create a boundary. You have to. It's a must. And the boundaries protect you. Nobody has to agree with it. Nobody has to accept it. Nobody has to approve it. Boundaries protect you. That's all. So I got some nuggets I want to close out on. If there are not any comments or questions, I'm going to close out with these nuggets. I'm just here to just share what I'm learning, what's coming up for me, things that I'm currently processing, things that are just coming up for me, period. Like anything that I see over and over again, I'm like, let me talk about that. But I'm definitely gonna do everything I say I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna let the imposter syndrome, keep me in a corner, keep me stuck, because I have the evidence of I'm doing well, right? So I gotta believe that, right? It's just reframing. It's a lot of reframing. And let's see. I want to share these nuggets. The 6 layers of human emotion need to be worked on, and then we can work on the ones underneath those. Peeling them back from anger, pain, fear, regret, desire, then love and appreciation. It's hard to see the possibilities which are hidden under the layers, right? So underneath that layer, for me, the layer where I was at was fear. I wanted it to be right. I wanted not to fail. I wanted it not to mess up. I wanted to be perfect, right? It's fear. But underneath that fear, it's regret. If I did not do this, then I'm going to regret, right? Then desire, right? What am I desiring? I desire to spread up me, right? To help other people, to show them that, guess what? You're not the only person that's going through this, right? So I share me. I share my truth. Like, this is real. It's real time. And then underneath that, it's love and appreciation. I love everyone. I want to help as many people as I can. And I get to help them through sharing my story, my message, right? And what else? As the layers come up, it's interesting to understand them and how our brain and body work and how our reactions take place before we even know it. Like, she asking me these questions, and I don't even realize I went straight to the excuses, because that's what the brain does. It tries to talk you out of that thing. It's designed to keep you safe. So it's going to tell you, oh, we shouldn't do that. Oh, we don't need to do this. Why are we doing that? It's going to question everything. But you get to tell it, you know what? We're going to do this. I got us. This is going to be fine. Even if it's not fine, it's okay. We're learning. Okay, we're learning and we're growing, and it is okay. We are afraid to pull away. Some of us are afraid to pull away the layers because we believe there's nothing left. And underneath those layers, it's something, it's the core of who you really are. So for me, it's like pulling back those layers, and I go back to, the innocent little girl that don't mind trying stuff. That didn't care if people didn't like her. That will walk up and talk to complete strangers. Like, we should be like kids, right? They think about kids. They just will go and talk to anybody. They have a good time. They fall, they get back up, they laugh. They just have a good time. They try anything, right? That's where we're getting back to. We're peeling back the layers, right? The layers that have been placed on us by people, by experiences, by life. Life be lifing. So it's just peeling back those layers, getting to the core of who we really are. Yeah. Okay, so what else? Perfectionism can lead to indecision, and decisiveness is a mask for perfectionism. What's under the mask of fear? Understanding fear and what it does, right? When the wound is ready to heal, the trigger will appear. Confidence speaks, certainty is felt. That's all. That's from my list of nuggets from school, when I wanted to share that, because I just thought it just went into what I was talking about, what I covered today, this morning. Yeah, so yeah, imposter syndrome. It's a thing, but guess what? We can overcome it. And it's gonna keep coming up. So you gotta have some affirmations. You gotta have something to replace that stuff with. Because when you take away something, you gotta replace it with something else. If not, that thing gonna come right back, right? So here are some tips for overcoming imposter syndrome. You want to avoid comparing yourself to others. You want to adjust your view of failure. Failure is just feedback. And it's not you failed, it's it failed. Okay? Document your success. Okay, so in the past, what have you done? What have you already accomplished? Okay, and it's probably something similar, right? So looking back, let's document your success. Practice positive self-talk, not the negative self-talk. Practice positive self-talk, because don't nobody abuse us like we abuse ourselves. We get mad at other people for saying things and doing things to us, when honestly, we do worse to ourselves, right? That self-abuse room is real. We will beat ourselves up, okay? So you want to practice positive self-talk. And you want to speak to a therapist or a coach. Get somebody that can help you. Because a lot of times, we can't see our blind spots. So me talking to somebody, they're able to see things that I can't see. And then they start asking me questions that I never even thought of. So now I'm thinking of a new way. I'm thinking of things I can do to help myself. Like, you can't be your best self by yourself. Okay? Reach out, get the support, get the help that you need so you can live your best life. Okay? It all starts with us. I'm trying to tell you, I don't need nobody to beat me up, because I do it to myself. I'm telling you, I do it. I've done it. That's why I be like, I don't be mad. People say, I don't care what people call me, because I have called myself worse. And it's not what they call you, it's what you answer to, right? So I be like, they ain't talking to me. They talking to themselves. Because we tend to beat ourselves up. Okay? So we got to practice positive self-talk, right? Write out all the negative things in pencil that you say to yourself, right? Write out all the negative things that you say in pencil to yourself. And then write out the positive things, right? We got to replace that negative with a positive, because if not, we're going to go back to the negative. We always do. So get a red pen and write out your new positive things about yourself, right? And then you go back and you erase all that negative stuff. Try that. But anyway, I wanted to share my experience of imposter syndrome, my confessions of an imposter. yeah, I was in that self-abuse room. I had to come out of there, and I'm gonna do the interview. Whether I got it all together or have everything, I don't care. I'm just gonna do it. It's an experience, right? Comparison is a dream, and self-esteem is a killer. Love keeping a track record of positive things. Yeah, we gotta keep a track of that positive stuff. And look back on your success. Like, I've done this before, and it was a great experience. I know I can do it, right? This ain't the first new job I started. Yes, I'm working from home. That's different. But the stuff, I am learning this stuff, and I'm right where I'm supposed to be. Don't compare yourself with nobody else. That's how you get stuck, right? That's how you lose focus. Oh, look at what they're doing. Now you done run into a tree. So you got to stay focused on what you're doing, because you are right where you're supposed to be. Don't compare yourself with nobody else. You don't know what they did to get there. You don't know what they got to do to stay there. Okay? That ain't got nothing to do with you. Other people's business ain't got nothing to do with you. Focus on you. You know how the horses have those little guides on? They got to stay focused. They'll get distracted. You're the same way. You got to stay focused. You cannot be distracted. In 2023, you cannot be distracted. Stay focused on your goals, right? Your commitment board, your vision board. Stay focused on that. You should be focusing on that, being the best that you can be, right? Donovan, do you want Andrew? I don't know. Somebody's asking a question over here. They ain't got nothing to do with me. But anyway, I'm complete. I'm complete. Any more questions, comments, concerns? And if y'all want these books, look, Amazon. Or if you got Audible. I have this on Audible and Amazon. Because after each chapter, she has you doing work. So I wanted a book so I can write in, take my notes and highlight and all that good stuff. So this is Goodbyes and Good Boundaries by Lisa Turkhurst. And it's about loving others without losing the best of who you are. And this is from my amazing coach, okay? Daddy, are you proud of me? And it's what daughters need to know and hear and see about their dad. So it's literally, if your father wasn't in your life, or maybe he's in your life and he cannot provide and give you the things that you need, this book will help you. Okay, so that's where I'm at with that. And then we have the relief of imperfection for women who try too hard to make it just right. I don't know about you. This right here, I need this to refer back to from time to time. So I read to feed. I don't necessarily read to finish. I read to feed. So whatever area I'm struggling in, I'll be like, oh, let me pick up my book. I need to look at my book and see what I got over here. What else? So last night I created a self-care workbook. So this is coming. This is coming to you. I got to figure out how to get it to you. You might have to sign up for my email. Give me your email and I'll shoot it to you. It's what I do. It's a 7-day thing of what I do. 7 days of what I do. And then at the end, I got a little love letter to you. All right. So if you want that, shoot me your email and I'll get it to you. It's free. All it costs you is your email. How about that? That is all I have. Have the most amazing Saturday on purpose. And if you are in this area, if you're in this space of imposter syndrome, just know that you can overcome it. You got everything you need. You have the evidence. You've done it before and you can do it again. Okay? So believe in yourself. Nobody else has to believe in you. You got to believe in yourself first. And if you believe in you, they'll eventually buy into. But until then, okay, make sure you're taking care of you, loving on you, because you come first. You can't take care of nobody else if you don't take care of you. I'm no good I'm no good to anybody else if I'm not good to me. I got to stop beating myself up. I got to start loving on myself intentionally. Okay? That's all I got. And you're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for your attention and your time. Peace, love, and blessings. Until next time. Peace.